Yeah, and that's one of the things that's like what I consider like an issue of Hearts of Iron is that you never want it to feel like, man, I got fucked over here. You want it to always be like very clear what's happening, right? You'd never want to be like in a position where you're like, oh well, I guess that's just one of the things I missed because there's like so much shit happening, and it's all like it's not coming to me on like a clear feed. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm asking like too much of it, but it's just one of those things where it's like I don't even really understand why my battleships were sinking. And it's like, oh, it's because they're being fucking naval bombarded because they didn't go back to their home base. They went back to like just a random base somewhere, which that's really bad in my opinion. Yeah, and even when I go to even when I go to the air overview now, it doesn't even say that the Americans were naval bombarding me or anything.
No, I don't know. I guess they don't like to tell you things that are useful.
That are very
Well,
important.
because I don't know. I think it's really impossible to really like, oh, your planes are getting hit like that.
Well, I'd say like if you're like, oh shit, your fleet is being naval bombarded is something that deserves its own alert, if you know what I mean.
No.
Because
On
let's
the side, maybe like
yeah, one of those where it's like because that's really important because I already lost like I don't know, I think I lost like 5 battleships already, and that was just from them being in port. It wasn't from them facing any like Americans out in the battlefield. It's from them being in a port. Which I don't know about you, but that's not fun.
no.
Like I don't want that to be a thing that I have to worry about. What the fuck? Wait. Yeah. Don't fully understand what's happening there. Okay, that's terrible. Yeah, and just in like single player this would not matter too much, but in multiplayer it's this is all stuff where it's like just adding to the like general like not funness of the game, if you know what I mean. But that's kind of like only a problem if you're playing a country like Japan as well, so like that's like a prominent naval power that has to fight in the Pacific.
Yeah, it should be, if not the most difficult, or not difficult as in like challenging to play, but like complicated, I guess.
Well, I'd say that's pretty much the same difference. Like the more complicated it is, the harder it is to play.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like examples like Bhutan or whatever. People are like, oh, but that's hard. I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's actually not. There's nothing too hard about microing one division.
But that, in that sense, it's like the game is not against the game is against not necessarily
Mechanics or whatever.
You have like I don't know, make like a Street Fighter game, and you have one guy that's like has like a missile that's all out of and he can't dodge it, and he gives like 1 billion damage, and be like, he dies in one hit.
Yeah.
And he's really slow to fire that missile. I'd be like, yeah, he's really easy to play. It's hard to win with.
Yeah, for example, my navy is taking a real pounding from those bombers, and let's see what the air situation is like now. Looks like we're doing okay. I did manage to pull them out, having only sustained horrendous losses as opposed to catastrophical losses. But yeah, I guess the better you get at the game, the less it becomes an issue. So I guess the answer, like, get good scrub is pretty legit, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, like, it's such a fucking bastard to do all this crap. And another, like, alert that can just go fuck off is we are at war. I'm like, thanks, man. What division requires light tanks for reinforcement that it's still currently active? Oh well. A radar doesn't take a normal building slot, does it? No, it doesn't.
No, anti-zones.
Okay, that's pretty good. Christ. Yeah, my navy has shrunken significantly, mostly due to, I'm pretty sure, airplanes. Like, I lost 67 destroyers to, I think, planes? Yeah, naval bombers. Yeah, just, their naval bombers just destroyed me completely. So that's something. Yeah, all of them have been sunk by naval bombers. B-15, tactical bomber, so that's pretty much what's killing those guys. Because I think America must just have like a billion naval bombers, and that's just what's destroying me. But that's also very like not displayed anywhere, if you know what I mean. Like, I've lost 120 ships to naval bombers solely, and I was none the wiser the whole time.
Really, I lost only 12.
Yeah, but
Just my starting subs.
but you're not on the like on the American shit list, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, I'm fighting them in the North Atlantic.
But you're not getting naval bombered to death.
I don't know, for some reason they don't have any ships in the North Atlantic.
Well, they don't have ships here. Like, they don't have. I don't encounter ships. It's literally just naval bombers that's destroying me. They don't have carriers. They don't have anything in the ocean. They just have like an airbase somewhere that's like capable of doing like massive amounts of work in their naval bombardments. Because my like airplanes on the carrier aren't even like getting launched, if you know what I mean. Like, they aren't even. It's not a carrier to carrier. They're not getting sunk in like a carrier battle with naval bombers. They're just getting naval bombered when they're in port.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Well, you should just bypass those areas, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just like don't go there. Like pretty much like that's the only thing I can do, and it's just very. I get no feedback. I go to like the airplane, the strategic air map, right? And it looks like if you go to the strategic air map, Polarin, it looks like we just have, I've naval spirit or I have air coverage in like, those places, but in reality, like the Americans just instantly micro their like fucking naval bombers to like a hotspot and then just like move them away, and I have no idea what's happening, if you know what I mean. And then I just have to look like if I wasn't like paying attention to like what my deaths were effectively, right? My naval deaths, I'd have no idea what the fuck is happening.
The problem is like the air view doesn't show them active unless they're actually on a mission.
Yeah, but they must be on a mission because I'm losing ships to them. You know what I mean?
They don't show up as like an active bomber if they're not doing anything in their current mission.
Huh.
There's only when they're bombing that they show up. You can see the same thing with CAS sometimes.
Oh, garrisons are getting just owned to death, so I need to beef them up a little bit.
Fucking the tale of Tasmania is very, very sad right now.
Because it turns out my naval garrison, like I'm losing a lot of troops just due to like garrisons, right? Like my garrisons getting like overrun in like the Pacific, because they'll just like lose the island fight and they'll then they just die immediately. So I have to kind of deal with that as well. So like my current goal is just seeing as how we've won the land war on mainland Asia, it's just kind of build up the fleet and try and win the Pacific, but it's very difficult. Alright, I think I'm actually good on that for now. How much infantry equipment do we have? More than enough, holy fuck. Right, so what are we actually lacking? Not really a lot. Yeah. I mean, maybe with like way more experience, like I'll get better at this shit, but right now it's just really fucking naval bombers are OP as fuck. If I just read like the data that I'm getting back, if you know what I mean. Like, my emperor or whatever the hell, like warlord, like what what do you take away from our current situation? And it's just that like, what are we wasting our fucking time on producing these rifles? If we're not firing naval bombers, you know, out of our like hands at the moment, we're wasting our fucking time.
My ship's
Yeah, carrying him. Oh right, those guys are already being produced, lol. Hey. And now Air Force is going to be prioritized, though. Navy and Air Force is going to be prioritized over land for sure, so... I'm going to use that mechanic, Polarin. But yeah, I think with every like game, I'll just get better at this shit, and I won't get as like upset about it, because you know, I'm just like fuck me. It's almost like I have to have experience to play this game or some stupid shit like that.
It's like one does not simply just
And I'm like, ah, fucking, but I want to simply though. Oh, coast of Japan, right? So many region-wide industrial thingy-mahoozits.
I'm not out of slots yet, put it like that.
I'm not either, but I mean, what am I gonna do with 1,600 political power, you know?
Did you have something for Indonesia?
Yeah, I can demand Indochina. But you know, seeing as how Free France is no longer a thing,
I
yeah.
mean, like,
it's pretty much irrelevant, isn't it? Or
I mean, like, resource extraction.
oh, I do. Though, actually, well, I have like resources that I don't really need that I can extract, if you know what I mean. At the moment, I can just develop tungsten or like aluminum. Like, I mean, I need aluminum more than I need tungsten, but I don't really need either, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm upping my aluminum production because I'm actually out. But I can guarantee you, like, the more aluminum you make, the more I'd buy from you.
Alright, I'll consider extracting it then. What I need to extract? Oh, I can just do the development thing. I'm gonna extract more aluminum then. Alright. It's time to... It's time to prioritize naval aircraft construction plan. With the war on land 1, you know. These guys are naval bombers. Okay, I don't think I need that much motorized as I'm producing at the moment. Yeah, I was sitting on 150,000 motorized, if you know what I mean. I'm producing like about 200 a day.
Yeah, that happens well to me for some stuff.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good, and when if the going ever gets really rough, you know, you're gonna need everything. Because I feel like a lot of times, I think one of the fallacies, like if I go put on my video game an expert hat or whatever the fuck, I think a lot of times the like things that like some of the less experienced players fall into is that they'll be like, oh, I have enough of something, so now I'll just like, you know, cut down on production by like slice production massively, you know, and be like, oh, I'm just gonna do something else, and then when the war actually starts, they'll be like, oh fuck, I'm down everything, you know? So you need like a healthy backlog of shit. Obviously not too much, but you just need to keep, it's like, let's put it like this, you just need to keep like the motor running or whatever, however you want to provide it, you know? Call it, you know? That's operational integrity. What is that one? Air support. Superiority. Battlefield support. Fire detection. Ground support. Naval bombing efficiency. Strategic bombing. Well, what's the best air tree to go into?
Depends what you need. I think
destroying the American Navy is what I need.
I would just Google it. I don't know. I went.
Fuck.
I went down the not the cast tree, but the other one. But I don't think that's good, actually. So.
No, you went down battlefield support or strategic destruction?
No, the right one.
What, operational integrity?
Yeah.
No. I think I'll go for battlefield support and just hope that my thing is good enough. Battlefield support seems pretty legit. The situation as it unfolds, Pilarn. At the moment... Oh, it's still army strengthened. Okay, so that tooltip is just wrong then, I guess. The battlefield support situation is I need to like actually clear all this crap. The Japanese Navy is in quite a state. It's not doing too hot, but I'm doing massive rebuilding. Also in like 100 days I'll have jet planes. But I just don't know what happens. Like I think they just Yeah, there you go. They have like so many bombers out there, but like I'll have like 1,000 fighters, you know, with like some AA situation headed like going on, and they will just, even though it's 1,000 fighters, those 1,000 fighters are just not good enough. You know, they just get destroyed by those Boeings.
Hmm.
Damn, I just don't even have enough fighters.
What that was supposed to do? It's pulses available.
Because those bastards are doing a lot of like bombing runs on me. Let's see what the situation is at the moment. Last month we didn't lose any battleships, okay. We didn't lose any like warships. So kind of reeled it in.
I just remembered to micro my planes.
Yeah, because they have like Boeing super fortresses, which might be a little bit like more advanced than my Mitsubishi Zero Sen guys.
Don't listen to Allied propaganda, darling.
I'm listening to how effective these fighters are at disrupting those flying fortresses. The answer is not very. Carrier bomber, carrier fighter. How does something being the carrier version affected adversely? Yeah, just have worse range. Seems to be what happens if you make it into a carrier plane. They've like some other stats too. Alright. They cost more to produce. Alright, that's something to consider. 51 has agility 489.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know, because Germany had like fucking control over South Africa, they obviously couldn't keep it, so now they lost it.
Rip.
I guess this means I can take it back.
What was it? Fortress Britain? I'm gonna make Fortress Japan with like air defenses and all that kind of crap because it's ridiculous.
Suddenly I of steel. It's lost in Africa. Probably.
Construction engineering focus to make, like, you know, air more to make my anti-air construct quicker. Because I thought they like fucked off because like everything is green, but that just means I have air superiority, but they have fucking almost double the amount of strategic bombers in the air than I have fighters, you know? How is that air superiority, Polarin? Fuck me.
It's not.
What an
That's what it is.
what a fucking interface, you know? Like, oh, Japan, it's bright green, I don't have to worry about it. Clicks on it, it's like, oh, there's a million strategic bombers there. Enemy strategic bombers. That ain't good. Like now I really just don't have the oil, but I'm producing like 2 carriers a year. Oh, so default airwing composition. Okay. Yeah, that seems okay. Actually, yeah. Boom. Yeah. Lovely. Do they construct the planes as well when they build the carrier or no?
No.
No. Okay.
What do you mean, like the planes?
No, the planes, they don't come in, like, they're not included, right? It isn't like a neat package where the battery's included and then it's a plane.
No, because you have planes that have like their own. Like, what kind of planes would they build? You know?
I don't know, man. So I need oil. I don't.
You can set the composition of the planes.
Yeah, I did. I need oil. Should I get it from the German Reich? Will that trade get intercepted immediately?
Well, I mean, I'm trading with you, so. Yeah.
Can I get oil from you? Yes. Oh, well, fuck Jesus, man. Like, don't. Just.
Not all at once.
Well, I'm getting it from you, alright, but you don't have a lot. Fuck me. Alright, well, I'm gonna see if I can improve some infrastructure then in like places that have oil in my territory if I haven't already, because I think I've already done most of it. Alright, so do you have any way to increase your oil production then, Polarin?
Not really that I can see, because I don't have any. I don't have refineries, you see.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do the Soviet non-aggression pact and hope that like the new prospecting for resources decisions will allow me to dig for more oil in Indonesia, because historically they have oil, if you know what I mean. I think today they even have oil. Like
they're an OPEC member, although they are importing more than they are exporting.
Huh.
Or they have to import some. I guess it's the reality.
So I heard somewhere, which is one way of saying that the sentence that follows is like empirically true. Like if you want to go by that if the Germans had instituted women's suffrage in World War One, they would have most likely won. World War One is
But yeah.
a thing that because like the way it was reasoned is that they missed a huge amount of industrial output potential by not employing women, but that's just one thing that they that was like brought. Like, I don't know how it was brought about, but it was like brought about in some World War One discussion, you know, like retrospective, being like, here's the misplays, you know, play of the game.
It's like, well, obviously, like, there's not one factor that
Yeah, of
you
course.
can really pin it down to like that, but yeah.
It would be really funny if that's like an argument that I don't know, like it's like extreme feminists like jump to that.
Oh man, like, we're not patriotic at all, you know.
Yeah,
Could have won the war.
yeah. You know, we would all be speaking German right now if Hitler had or well, I guess the World War II, because I don't think there was any women. Was there women's suffrage in World War II Germany?
Suffrage, that's the right to vote, so.
Oh, then what is the right to work? No, you gotta find. That's weird. Okay.
Well, let's look at what it's called in this game. It's called Women in the Workforce.
They'd never allow that. No. So like, was that a thing then, or
In World War II?
yeah, for women, for in Germany?
In Germany? Well, I'm sure it was some of it, you know, like. I think what it's usually referred to is like the large-scale industrial workings. Why the hell does your oil production go down? Are you like changing laws or something?
No, no, no. I'm not doing anything like that. If it's going down, it's because I'm losing islands somewhere, most likely. But I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not oil producing ones. Is it like my influence is going down? I don't know. Like,
Are convoys being sunk? Actually, I can answer that. Nope. No convoys of mine have been sunk in the last month.
it would be mine that would be sunk in that case. But yeah, they're not either.
So are our shipping lanes like safe then? I like to understand.
Well, I did lose. Sorry, the Germans lost South Africa, so I don't think I would call them safe yet. But
Well, I'm gonna try and get some oil from the German Reich whilst the going is good. You know, top up what I couldn't get from you. You know, it's like, you know, my guy is like, oh yeah, very big order from Italy, and it's like, Italy is like, all right, we have like 2 barrels that you can have per month. There, oh, okay. It's like, I think
forced export, by the way.
I think it was like, was it like King George V that was like, in World War One, America will enter the war and they'll have, you know, 50,000 airplanes or something like that.
I don't know who said that.
You think that if you have rocket mortars, the benefit of those would be less, that they weigh less. Like, I required less supply to keep going. But that doesn't seem to be the case. I think this game is like, if you play like a nation like Japan, I think the game is like complex enough as is. I don't feel the need to have like to be able to produce uniforms and crap, you know?
What do you mean? You have to research 2 separate branches of the. Well,
Radio.
Meant for like the AAR, so it's like, here's my, you know, 1944 division, and I'm playing as Germany, so I kind of have to lose to make this AAR make sense. If I'm just going for like a historical run. Let's see here. No, I didn't set my computer up. It's a button name. Fuck, how did I even lose it in the first place? Yeah, my advice, by the way,
Yeah.
don't fight in Africa unless you absolutely have to.
Don't worry, I fought in fucking Australia, never again. Oh, I can tell you the reason why I'm losing oil is those American strategic bombers are bombing my synthetic oil refineries.
Because it's been like half the amount you can send to me.
Yeah, so that's what they've done. Yeah, a lot of strategic refineries are down. I'm trying to remedy it now. Like I've got 18 AA in like the thing, and I'm
Don't you
building
have
radar
enough planes?
towers. No, I don't. Like I have 1,000 at the moment, but I'm building like loads of naval bombers. So I guess I should probably put those guys at like the highest
Oh,
one.
by the way, if your airfield is above capacity, there's not gonna do anything. By the way.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. Oh, you sent alright, you sent like 400. Thank you, sir. No, I'm
Now they pissed off.
no, oh, thank God. Like, cause what I was doing is I was uh being like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go super heavy into planes until I get jets. So I was like, if I can just rush jet technology and bypass some of the plane tech. Turns out I can't do that. So
Are you also above? No, I can't get more supplies. Okay.
oh what oh what the fuck? I thought that that airport must have gotten bombed as well. Fuck me. Bastards. Pretty sure they bombed the Kanto airport. Yeah, they did.
Don't worry, I'm bombing New Zealand to the ground if that helps.
Nice. Yeah, they did a fucking number on my industry there. Germany must be like, what the fuck? Think I'll have a construction repair just for a period because I think that'll give me more direct benefit. Alright. Alright, the 170 more days, Plarn, and the Nakajima Kika, the first Japanese jet plane, will be available.
Very good.
Shokaku class. Oh, I think they're bombing Manchuria? No, they're not. Alright, that's weird. Yeah, I think my oil situation is better now, isn't it?
Very slightly.
Okay, they're still repairing. Meanwhile, I think I'll just... No need to have these guys go and do their thing, so...
Oh my god, what are they doing?
What happened?
I don't know, for some reason my armies in Africa decided to like fucking snake. So I've had not noticed that they would have just lost them all. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is actually like, that's what they used to do. Like, this is like the exact bug they used to have, but now they're doing it again?
That's why I get like PTSD. That's like my worst nightmare. Where it's like, oh, you made your fatal mistake there, Kyle. Trusting in the AI. You fool.
I don't know if I'm much trusting as I'm just like very stupefied of what they're doing. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot for those planes. They really did like make it much better. Yeah, over the last year or so, it was 625 of our buildings got bombed. I lost almost 2,000 fighters. Yeah, you lose like accident losses. Like you lose like I lost like half to accidents. Is that because the airfield's too small then?
Wait, where do you say this?
Is that why, like, I'm just looking at, like, the airplane losses or whatever.
Where can you see that?
Like, if you just go to your, like, the air map
Okay.
mode, and then go into the thing, yeah.
Good now.
So I lost a bunch I lost, like, half of my airplanes to fucking accidents. So that is quite bad. Oh, they've put their bombers back up there. Fucking the accidental losses, though. Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. That must also have been quite a drain on manpower. Yeah, so that was a lot of like, man, that's a lot of losses just to air. Like that must also be like why I lost a lot of manpower, like just due to like aerial mishaps, you know? So has that been happening in Australia too then? Am I just like paying out the ass for like, yeah, I am. Alright, so yeah, you don't want to have your fighters doing shit when there's no need, effectively, turns out.
Hmm.
Turns out that just like, oh. God, that's insane. Any self-defense first. Let's lose troops from now and begin. Everything else is okay. Alright, looks like everything's alright. I am losing like manpower due to fucking so many accidental losses. Christ on a bike. That's a lot of accidental losses. Right, so I think that accidental losses thing should just not be a thing, because losing 18 planes a fucking day, accidental losses, is pretty stupid, if you know what I mean. Like, how can you lose more planes just flying them than I can produce, you know?
Do you have very low reliability?
No, I don't.
What's the reliability?
Oh, apparently it's 60%. Jesus Christ, that's not too good.
Yeah, like, that's fine.
Fuck
Because
me.
you're looking at my tiers, I don't really have much losses.
Alright, so apparently those zero-sun, like, fucking planes are terrible.
If you have like, yeah, I don't know, because I didn't really like test it, but I just had like a hunch that like low reliability is like the lucky.
Yeah, and here's the stats that I put like all of the stats into weapons and reliability of like those things. Oh fucking, yes, they're terrible. What are the reliability of these like naval bombers? I guess I'm learning this crap now, but turns out planes don't have, or like the special airplane that you get is fucking trash for Japan. Turns out. It's horrendous reliability, causing me to lose just loads of airplanes for no reason. Okay, so I think that's like enough reason to just be like, alright, well, I'm not gonna produce those guys anymore. Christ, that's terrible. Well, at least I figured it out at some point, you know, right? At least I noticed at some point. But, because yeah, I was losing like loads of manpower without anything happening, you know?
I'm out of manpower, but I don't think it's because of that, so. Or I hope it's not because of that.
It might be, dude, because fuck me, like, if you just look at like the accidental like air losses or whatever the fuck, like, it's ridiculous.
You do have lost 3 million men, though.
Yeah, but like the amount of people by air, you know, like that's not an insignificant amount. The amount of people I've lost in the air has been like insane. How do I tell them to standing by? They're in home millions. How do I tell them to stop? Jesus Christ. How do you just tell, like, I guess, like, how do you just tell all these aircraft to just, like, they won't? Oh, this is fucking horrendous. Oh, there we go, it did it. Holy fuck.
Stop telling to do their mission.
Okay, I guess it must have been because of lag or whatever, because I did that and it, like, didn't work. Oh my god. Yeah. Soviets have so many divisions on my border. Well, it's all good practice, Kyle. It's all good practice. You know, for when you start your esports Hearts of Iron career. But yeah, no, so that's one of those things. Because I did remember asking, like, do planes, like, lose who's and what's it? And you were like, I don't think so. And I was like, oh, I guess that must be right then. And then it turns out that, fuck me, do you lose aircraft.
Maybe not for, maybe for, I wasn't sure for air superiority. It's like what I was probably gonna, I don't know, if I was gonna,
Yeah, because,
I think that's what I remember saying.
alright, so,
I was thinking of, I mean, maybe not, I didn't say it.
so, in the last year, right, or over the, pretty much in all time, on the Japanese home islands, I have lost 650 planes due to accidents.
But did you always have those guys in that airfield that was like completely overcrowded?
Not always, but you have to remember that airfield wasn't overcrowded. Like, it was like a 2000 airfield, if you know what I mean, when it was repaired, but it just got bombed to shit. Alright, so another thing that I've learned, Mitsubishi Zeros, I thought they were pretty hot shit. Turns out they're dog shit in terms of reliability. So, damn you, Mitsubishi, I guess.
No, I don't. I just gotta bite the bullet and go to service by requirements.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too, but I still have some manpower to play with.
You have like a million. Like,
Yeah.
plus.
You say that, but that was going down quite rapidly, that million.
Yeah, but I've been at 0 effectively for a while because I want to just make more ships, really
Yeah.
fast.
Hmm. Come on, brain. There you go. Just stop producing Mitsubishi Zero Zens because they're just apparently they were flying death traps, but nobody in my military was rude enough to like raise that as an issue. It's like it turns out we're the Air Force is not doing too well. It's like, oh fucking why? It can't be because of our planes. They're hot shit. And then nobody ever wanted to correct me on that. Meanwhile, Portugal has done really well to stay out of this conflict, you know?
Oh yeah.
They are like, they must love whoever's in charge. Antonio de Oliveira Salazar. Oliveira. They're like, man.
I think I know.
They're like, man, this guy knew what's up, you know? He fucking like kept us out of the war. Meanwhile, you know, Iran, Iraq, rated best place to grow up if you want to be alive.
I don't think it's too bad in Italy, but
like Iran and Iraq, they're beset on all sides by like, you know, like conflicting powers or whatever the hell, but they've managed to stay somewhat neutral. Is it primarily because nobody wants to invade for that oil?
well, it's not that I don't want to invade, but I think I got shit on my plates.
Yeah, I think that's primarily the reason as to why one would not invade is because, you know, do you really want to lose the manpower? Because at this point they must have like some divisions, you know? Yeah, they have like 29 divisions, which I guess is something.
The problem is not those divisions; it's when they go overseas and randomly invade your ports.
Well, they're strategic bombarding Manchuria, but I don't really like. Do I care enough? Is the answer. I guess maybe I should.
Don't worry, as Southern Africa, your infrastructure shall be great. Oh, did you read the, by the way, the latest dev diary for Hoi 4?
No.
Add all the countries in the world basically now.
What?
So they have like split up a lot of states and such and made like tanks for all the countries. So now if you really want to, you could play as Rwanda.
Oh man, that's always been what I've always wanted to do.
That's always what I wanted them to do as well. Although I guess the only fucking thing I can really see in the end of the tunnel is that they will finally have the post-war peace deals would look nicer, question mark.
Yay.
Apparently it was just one dev and he got help from others, so yeah, right. Like it's not gonna fucking break the development bank, as I understand.
No, I'm not worried about the development bank, I'm worried about the optimization thing. Like, do you really...
Yeah, well, obviously that's that. I tried to point that out on Reddit, but people were like, "This is a boring guy. Don't you like it when they update their game? Oh, you guys always bitch." I'm like, no, it's fucking just making it worse. You're not improving anything.
Yeah.
No one asked for this.
Yeah.
Only Moz asked for this. And let's face it, you're not gonna play some small country. Do you ever see someone playing fucking
Rwanda or whatever.
Uruguay or something in Hoi 4? No, I always play like Brazil. But you know what could be like fixed if they had some extra time. You know, maybe some of the advisors could be better balanced. You know, like a thing that actually affects the game quite a lot.
God, it takes fucking, like, what? Is that 2 years to research the next, like, aircraft. These are just air superiorities, so they're not capable of port striking or naval striking. Okay.
But I failed. Really? Yeah, so I think what you want, right, instead of air superiority, you want interception. Because then that will only act.
No. Oh, like that. Oh, is that how that works? All right.
Yeah, because that only does something when you're.
Okay, so they don't like. Okay, good. That's very good to know. So did you look that up or what?
No, I did it through my own testing.
Okay. Oh,
I had a
perfect.
suspicion though, so it worked. But
Okay,
I was just like,
so all
oh,
right,
you should
that's
put both
perfect.
on, just make sure.
Yeah, no. So it turns out that you just want people to be interception, and then they'll only kill themselves.
Well, I don't think they'll fight enemy planes. It's the only thing for that. But
No, they won't do air superiority, but seeing as how only their bombers really have the range to do what they're doing, if you know what I mean. Mechanized are still quite needed, turns out. New deployments. The Japanese have upgraded their carriers. We have jet aircraft. We are tentatively ready to show these American pig dogs what's what. You know, in this time I've managed to produce loads of naval bombers. Like I have almost 2,000 now.
nice.
And I'm trying to get jet production. Like jet production is 3 jet planes a day. Hopefully it'll be projected to be at like about 12 per day or whatever in the future. And I've made them upgraded them to be all reliability and engines, so that's good. And I should be exporting a lot more oil now.
I'll take a look at that in a sec.
Actually, to the point where I don't even need to. I don't no longer need to import oil from the Germans, so that's the thing. Oh, I'm still keeping the imports flowing to you though.
Yeah, I'm actually free of the Germans.
Oh, fucked is my shit. Does still need more repairs, so I'll keep it on there. Yeah, in Australia I lost 700 fighters due to accidents alone. Like in total, I've lost like 1,300 fighters due to accidents, and that's a lot of people. That's like 20 manpower per fighter. So that's actually not that many people in all honesty. It's 26,000 people. Would you consider that a lot?
It would be a lot for me before I had my thing, but I was like, well, 10% output is not the end of the world if I am not even
No.
able to get any battleships out.
Speaking of which,
Don't you just love having to take over a country for a second time because the game was like, this is German territory now, and then you can't effectively defend it?
oh yeah.
Bloody love that.
Do I need? No, not really. What are my resources that I need? I need aluminum or aluminium.
I have some 50.
Is there like a place? What is like the place that produces the most?
In the world?
Yeah.
Well, that's Hungary, I think, but like,
Yeah, we're not exactly. Trading with you for it. Well, the Soviet Union has quite a bit of it, but you know, so behind the Iron Curtain, shall we say? Though, if I'm not mistaken, the Soviets are getting like the Soviets are getting like their shit pushed in.
yep. Very slowly, but they are. They're actually on Ola Adolfsur now.
How many have they lost in that war?
Oh my god, I don't even know which.
Country, world current.
German, Soviet, not, you know, casual 28 million, you know, like your typical war.
Yeah.
Just, you know, the country of, probably like
Spain?
Belgium,
No,
the
no, no.
Benelux.
Yeah,
Fine,
that'd be the
plus,
whole
like, a few
Benelux.
countries.
No, that'd be the whole Benelux and probably all of Scandinavia and the Benelux,
No,
roughly.
not all of Scandinavia. That's,
No? Like what this?
Probably actually all of Scandinavia.
Because what is Sweden's population? 13 million, or what's its population?
Finland,
Finland is like
Sweden's
half a
9,
million, right?
Sweden's 9, Norway's like 5, Denmark's 5. Then I don't know if you said Nordics, but then like Finland is also like another 5, which is like 25 effectively.
So will we get to nuclear war?
I am like sort of deciding. Well, I mean, actually, I'm not going into that tree anymore. I was tempted to take my foot in it.
Yeah, I was very tempted as well.
I just don't know how effective they are.
Oh, they're very effective. Nukes, like, they're really good. Just don't let the enemy get air superiority, you know?
Okay, I think I finally have more war score against the Allies than the Germans have. Holy shit, they've lost. Yeah, the Allies has lost 25 million. I think most of those are Indians and Brits.
Yep.
Actually, it doesn't add up. Like, does it add up?
It does add up.
25
Yeah, that's 13 million. Oh yeah, it definitely does add up. Because you have to see, like, Australia and, like... Oh, I thought... Oh no, there's... Oh wow, it does... Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Australia and the UK is like... Or the United... Or the fucking... Goddamn. And America is like 6 million. And then that's plus the 13 million of the United Kingdom and, like, Dominion of Canada. So it's like 19 million, right? Of those big guys. And then the rest, in terms of like 100,000s, has to make up for like 6 million. So I don't know. It seems close enough. God, I have so many divisions, don't I? Compared to like all the other guys. They built a radio there on the Marcus Islands, huh? Carrier battlegrounds.
Killed now.
Let's look at the naval losses. Alright,
40.
I've sunk 20 or 17 carriers and lost none. That's a big step up from earlier in the year when we lost 6 battleships and a heavy cruiser and 20 destroyers and 7 submarines. So it's all going up, right?
Should be. Time to bomb London to the ground.
Sounds like a plan. Right. God, my radar tech is just no longer, or my decryption tech is just no longer good enough for whatever the AIs have.
They actually have fucking jet fighters now.
That the AI.
Yeah.
Damn.
Britain has.
Bastards.
Yeah.
God, the Soviets must be in like just terrible shape in all things considered.
Well, they still have 1 million manpower apparently. But you know, nothing can stop the Reich, you know?
Yeah. Soviet frontier. Yeah, right now I'm just focusing very much on getting like an air force going. Upgrading my ships. And just, you know, going like the massive quality doctrine or whatever. Where do I need? Need more chromium. Which is CR, by the way, chromium on the thing on the periodic table.
Very good.
There you go. Need that approval from my elders, you know?
I was like, oh right, I'm out of aluminum trading partners, and it's like the issue France like, what about us? I'm like, oh right, you exist too. Actually, the German writing exists.
Yeah, and Vichy France has actually killed a lot of people, if you know what I mean. They've been doing some work, all things considered, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like how much did they like, for example, did they like maybe not? I mean, yeah, they've killed like almost 1 million of the UK servicemen, and that's only like against the UK, so. And they have, you know, between 70 and 170 divisions, so. That fishy France. South Africa has capitulated.
So hope we have to do this again.
Yeah.
This time I made sure to get every inch of the country before I capitulated it. I don't know if that's surprising to you, but they're very good and very industrialized as well, provinces.
Yeah, because of their focus.
Yeah.
Their focuses makes them like memey as fuck.
And they have probably been exporting tungsten and shit, so they have like lots of spare civilian factories. Everything is like infrastructure 10, etc.
Yeah, I think I'll get like the best dude in charge. Oh man. Yeah, I think I'll get Senroku Hata on like fucking in charge of the oh my god. I think I'll get Senroku Hata in charge of the fucking like Soviet front as opposed to like the shit tier 1 marshal that's been doing that. Just in case the Soviets decide that they've had enough of whatever the hell they're doing, and like they've had enough of losing, so they want to like push in on somewhere else. I don't know. Well, whilst I'm not at war with the Soviets, the British are just wasting divisions doing there. Like, I am kind of preparing to, like, at some point have to face off against the Soviets, but I obviously don't want that to become an actuality. Because that would be terrible for me. Are you doing atomic research, or shall I?
I'm not doing it, so...
I guess I'll do it. Just in case it becomes relevant.
Oh wow, I actually captured British planes now because I capitulated the thing.
Nice. Very nice.
Well, it's nice and bad. Why can't I just deploy by units? Like, it's just... Actually, I just realized why this screen is terrible. Like, to deploy planes screen. Like, I really just want to deploy planes, because, like, I'm not gonna... Like, the game is not gonna let me just deploy, like, Hawk or Hurricanes or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, you're gonna force me to do one or the other.
Oh, I'm actually using captured American artillery in like some of my modern mechanized divisions.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. Oh, Jeto fighter. Not racist.
I was gonna say, oh, racist.
Very racist. I wonder, will the game allow me to convert fucking Mitsubishi Zero? No, I cannot convert Mitsubishi Zeros into jet planes.
Yeah, they really like fucking crack down on that shit. Used to be you could convert like, you know, a bolt action rifle into like submachine gun, you know, that sort of shit.
Yeah. Where it's like, I guess we can reuse the stocks, I suppose.
Well, yeah, maybe, but like...
No, it's retarded. Don't get me wrong. Like, it would be as retarded as this. If you're making a jet fighter, you know, you have to completely redesign the whole thing. I don't think... Look, I'm not a physics major, you know? I only take, like, a course in physics. But I'm pretty sure a plane that has a top speed of 300 kilometers an hour and has, like, a front, like, propeller engine can't just be converted in MTV's Pimp My Ride to a plane that goes like a kilometer a fucking hour, you know?
That's where you're wrong, kiddo.
Has to have different specs, I'm sure. Because I think what I'll do is just, yeah. Oh, fuck off, carrier ones. Actually, yeah, hold on. How the hell do you land like a jet on like a aircraft carrier anyway? Like, do they
Do
need?
it in real life.
I know, but like, don't you need like a really long runway? Like, what, like regular carriers not be good enough for that?
No. I assume they do what they do today, like have like hooks and so on that catch the plane.
Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds about right. God, the enemies have been sending a lot of bombers to, like, not that this is like a huge issue, but God damn it, come on, brain. The fucking allies have been sending a lot of, like, bombers to Australia. I'm gonna attempt to, like, remedy that with my new jets.
During my bombing of New Zealand, 76 buildings have been bombed. That's impressive than I actually hoped. Oh my god, like, what is this? Like, the fucking Tasmania has still not fallen.
And those are 0 airplanes in the Queensland Air Base. Right now, Australia is getting hammered by, which is quite unfortunate because they do have like some industry there, but Australia is getting like hammered by by strategic bombers, which I don't think in real life that would happen, just because of the political implications of being like, yeah, we're just gonna, like Australia that like got occupied by Japan, we're just gonna bomb them to shit. But I guess that was a few years ago, so maybe now that's only like native, like it's all been resettled by Japanese, I don't know. Oh, you're tactical bombing New Zealand, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you might want to pull your tactical bombers out there and put some fighters in there if you can, because there's the air battles going on, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean
In
Australia?
Eastern Australia, yeah. There's like 1,600 strategic bombers there.
You're mistaken, and or you're thinking that I'm short on or like just because I have tactical bombers means I have fighters and vice versa.
I guess. Fucking the U.S. with their stupid airplanes.
Oh fucking sick.
So that's the thing that's happening. Yeah, I was gonna do like a invasion or something. Alright, General, this Cold War is about to go hot. It's been a very, very long time coming, but I'm finally about to, actually, do that. Nope. Probably should do that. No, I think we can use those guys. It's been a very long time coming, but I'm planning on taking the Pacific Islands from America. I'll go first because I did it in kind of like the wrong order. Don't want to like get fucked over that. Show you carriers. Taiho.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The Russian... Oh, man.
I didn't see how many dudes they had lost by the end, but...
No, I can't. I can only see the peace treaty of Ankara or whatever it was called. So man, that is a great victory for the German Reich. You know, they have like look at the amount of factories and fucking shit that they have now. You know,
Yeah.
it's like U.S. eat your heart out. Yeah, I was considering right like attacking the Soviets just to kind of like get like a piece of the pie. but I kind of decided against it mentally because I was like, that's going to be a lot of like manpower and resources for potentially like only Sevastopol, if that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
And
by the way, the UK is attacking you right now.
are they?
Yeah, because they
Oh,
have
they
troops on
are.
the border.
Oh, lol, they have like no supplies. Oh man.
You should take over Mongolia though. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no reason not to really. Yeah, the UK have like their military has like no supplies, so.
Then they won't actually join the Axis either, which is good.
But Mongolia, yeah, no, fuck that. That would be really bad if they did. Yeah, Soviet front previously was like, okay, so our chances of oh, so our chances of victory in the Soviet front or whatever were like, okay, um, pretty low, right? And then it's like, oh, they capitulated, so now everything else is like, oh, right, that's turns out it's actually very easy. Naval invasion there, naval invasion there. Oh, Portugal joins allies.
Oh my god. Fuck. Me.
That
I
means
was like, will this happen?
for me
Or
that
will it not?
means Macau. Oh, were you attacking them?
What? No?
Oh, okay. I was about to say like,
They joined through like the event where the British can call them in based on their EU4 alliance, if you know what I mean.
right?
Their alliance they have in EU4.
Yeah. The go fuck yourself if you're like the Spanish or the Dutch alliance, I think is what it's called.
The alliance of like 1870 something.
Well, I've done my part. I've seized their holdings in Asia, Plarn, or at least mainland Asia. They won't bother you ever again.
Oh, you're still missing some. I was actually like, I was looking at it. I was like, okay, so okay, I'm gonna force them out of thing.
Yeah, the British have troops stationed in like Mongolia, which are now completely out of supply, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
How many factories do they have? 11 and 4. That's pretty good.
Well, actual Portugal isn't gonna be an issue because of Spain.
Tibet issues warning, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, man, more supply. No, just return. What?
What?
Oh my god. This is bullshit. Right, so I lost my whole navy, right? Again, to like tactical bombers. Do you have like an autosave or something? Holy shit. Like I just like they lose 2 fucking tactical bombers, right? And I lose like fucking 5 battleships in like a battle. They have 200 planes, naval bombers that they're using, and apparently those are so powerful that my ships just have nothing on that, if you know what I mean. And I don't really like I don't get informed of that, if you know what I mean, which is the worst part. So do you have like a half-year-old save or something?
Not a half-year-old. I had a few months back.
Hopefully that's enough, because I just get no feedback. It's like, oh dude, they're sinking your whole navy. Nothing, nothing tells me that. It's just so fucking stupid. Like, naval bombers must be overpowered or something, because if 200 can just take out like if 200 naval bombers can just take out a whole navy, like I don't understand why you even bother building up a navy at that point.
Yeah, so how long do you need to go back?
I don't know. I have no like I think a few months would be enough. Like
Because like I don't know when you lost them.
I don't know either. It said like last few months or whatever the hell. I think it was just like a month or 2 ago. 'Cause it wasn't that long. Definitely wasn't that long. So I think like if it's like a few months back, that should be enough. But yeah, that's one of the things that like frustrates me a lot about this game is that I through all the fucking information, I can't get the information that's super fucking critical, right? Because you get like a billion alerts that a naval invasion is happening when it isn't actually happening, you know? And
It's being planned. That's what's happening.
alright. Well, pretty much that is like not very important, but losing all your ships because they have like 200 naval bombers and then you lose like, 6 ships or whatever and nothing happens. Like I'm pretty sure I have them on like high repair priority as well, but nope, they just get destroyed like super quickly. Like that was insane. That was 11 battleships like just gone like in a flash and no alerts is like the worst part. Like nothing that was like, oi, you're getting attacked, like your navy's in trouble, you know? Because there is a naval battle alert, but I don't think there's a your ships are getting fucking annihilated by naval bombers, like please turn around kind of alert. I don't know. What is your opinion on this, Pilar?
I honestly think it's just because it's 1948 and they have not played this far in a few months, in a few years as the devs haven't. I mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this happens. They're like, well, I tested this feature. I'm just gonna go on to the next thing. And
Yeah, my fleet's okay. This is I think before. Oh, this is before Soviet Union collapse. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was either this or May, and I figured like let's go back more than we have to.
Sure. Yeah, it was like some precog. Yeah, this is before I gave the order to fucking patrol. Like I'm not even going like deep. I'm like it was to patrol the. Because I can understand that they have like strategic range into like bomber range, but it was like the Mariana region, right? I had them patrol the Mariana region, and before I knew it, they were all dead. And I got no alert from it. I was like, I'll just check like what the status is, right? Manually. And then it's like, oh, the status is you get fucked in the ass. All right.
I think the worst part is when they put those losses under convoy battles. It's like, okay, don't think that's a convoy battle, sir, but
You know. So that's the thing that's happening. Is it worth declaring war on the Soviet Union now, or is it like not worth it? Do you reckon?
well, you have a non-aggression pact with them, so
Oh, okay, so that's a good point. Yeah, alright, let's go.
see how many losses they sustained. 29. I mean, they're usually at a point in war right now where they just have run out of equipment and are just like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
dying where they stand.
Pretty much. Because that is generally what happens when you're in that kind of situation. They just like are completely out of that crap. Alright, so how do I like make that not happen? Right, so if I have like, so I have these carriers, right, that have these carriers, they each have, yeah, they have like, oh, they have a fucking 0 sand fighters, oh my god. What if I told you, actually, are they still in the process of being upgraded? Yeah, they are, so that's why. That's why they have 0 sand fighters. Okay. So what if I just use subs then for that situation? Right, so it must be what happens must be like what you've described, which is where they just have like naval bombers, right? And they just have them like in the Mariana region, and they just have them on like, you know, just fucking, you find a navy and you destroy it, you know?
Yeah.
So that must be what's happening, so.
Oh no, they haven't stopped there. Like my raiders are getting stopped in the Atlantic.
Oh wow, those subs instantly got sunk. Oh
Your
my god.
subs?
Yeah, my subs instantly got sunk in the... Okay, so where is my navy? They are...
Already getting sunk?
Mariana region. Like they I get like, where is the alert that I'm getting from this? Oh my god, it's all the way at the bottom. No, it isn't. I don't even get an alert. You don't get an alert, Polarn, when your navy gets sunk by naval bombers. I have
Yeah, why
zero
would you?
alert. I mean,
It's a combat report, you know?
none of them made it out. You know, it's just realistic, Polarn. None of them like
Yeah.
like they didn't like make it out. So really, I'm the idiot.
I thought you knew something about playing this game.
Yeah. But you know, a good thing I get events where they're like, oh, they're planning naval invasions. You know, oh yeah, those 4 subs you sent to like check that area out. Oh, they instantly got raffle stomps, and I'm like, is that like not worth reporting then? That I lost like a naval battle like drastically? No, that's not worth reporting.
I break the bad news now, you know, it's already done.
Yeah, so I guess I need like a good airport there in order to like use some interceptors or whatever to do that. So let's see. Oh, Soviet Union has capitulated. Actually, fuck having way too many theaters. Let's rename this one to the
I'm ready for you. Actually, I'm not ready, but I'm readier for Portugal this time. Not that there was much to be ready about, but yeah.
oh, they are a dictatorate. Shang-Chi are a Reichsprotectorate. So I imagine attacking them would be bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to war with Germany for that.
No, which I don't think I want. Oh yeah, they're in the war. Macau did have like a fuck ton of planes in it, Jesus Christ. I am now using their... So, I mean, it is a very educational game. I am learning a lot, like, in terms of, like... Well, like, I'm serious, like, because this kind of, like, naval and air combat, you don't really get if you're in the fucking Western Front, if you know what I mean. Like, not really. Like, even as the UK, you generally don't play like this, you know, you're not like... Alright, so I need naval bombers to just fucking patrol, like, the oceans, and then no ship will ever be able to leave port ever again.
Yeah.
And here we see the Italian battleship attempting to leave the harbor. It's young, and then you just see, you know, like, the destroyers or whatever the hell, like protecting its young before they have the size to defend themselves. And then, you know, oh no, here come the naval bombers. Slow and immaneuverable. The Italian battleship has no way to fight back. And then you just know, just one naval bomber just fires his torpedo, just instantly destroys it. And it's like, it's a massacre.
Fucking July, people, repair faster, come on. Whoa, whoa. My shit's getting attacked there? tables have turned, indeed.
Well, submarines are very cheap to produce, so I think what I'll do is I'll just like have like a couple of like submarines as like probing vessels, you know, where they will they'll act as like, you know, the sacrificial lamb to kind of like check whether like a place is patrollable or not.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when that submarine just gets spotted by 1,000 naval bombers all at once and just gets like blown to kingdom come, I'll know that it isn't safe to go out. Oh yeah, I was doing your thing. Pacific Combat. I've just started that. Alright, so the way I play now is I just recognize the faces of the you know, the generals that are that I have. So that's just how I get around the whole confusion aspect, is I just know who everybody is now.
Oh yeah, I can add that too.
Well, but you don't have fucking like, you know, 20 of these motherfuckers. Look, man, I've looked at a lot of old Japanese men, like in various states of obesity, and I can identify them now as where they are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the Italians are quite out of shape too, but like, some of them are okay.
I mean, some of these guys are okay. They're like portly, like, but most of them are alright. Man, those fucking aircraft must be doing some work. Get me a combat report, Billy. Yeah, even if it's only convoys, I am like successfully just sinking like those 200 naval things are just successfully sinking convoys everything. So every
Are you
time.
sure they're actually sinking them though? Not just
Yeah, they are.
the combat thing, because that happened to me. I was like, oh my god, they're doing so great, and as I actually looked at it, it's like, oh, actually, not too great.
You know, the Battle of Iwo Jima is when 20 naval bombers destroyed 5 convoys, you know? Excellent battle.
Fine vintage, you know.
Do like a probing invasion or whatever. Oh wow, they've got so many bombers in Manchuria. Fuck that. South India. Lots of aircraft in South India. I mean, I'm producing a lot of jet fighters, or at least I'd like to think that I am. Like, I'm producing like 8.2 a day. So, like, I'm trying to, like, you know, after not really giving a shit about the whole aircraft business, I'm trying to get into it now.
But is it too late?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, at the end of the day, it all that matters is that you have like the most jet fighters, right?
Alright.
Because I don't really see like those terrible planes winning.
And of course, somehow Spain gets Angola.
Oh.
Not because I like them or hate them, because they were in my way. And I can't risk another Portugal situation happening. So in Africa right now, you either with us or you with the Germans.
Jeez.
There you go. Now the Indian Ocean is clear of any enemy like islands.
My fucking convoy got sunk because they have destroyers over there, and my planes aren't good enough to deal with destroyers, I guess. Christ, on a bike. Hey, Mongolia has capitulated. Lovely.
But there are still British holdouts.
Not for very long.
Oh my god. Don't even look at how many planes the Americans have.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? Fuck.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, fucking yeah, of course. Yeah. How could I forget about Goa? So how the fuck are they having planes in southern India? Pretty sure I like. Okay, so how do you want to invade America? Because there's like two options available to us right now. We can either go to the Pacific, or we can go to America, South America.
South America. I think South America seems like the most sensible thing, but if you think you're going to be able to get a naval invasion going there, like I think you have the best chance going from like West Africa to Brazil. I think that's literally the best shot that there is. Because this, I'm trying to make Pacific Island progress, right? And mate, they have it on fucking lockdown with their planes. It's not their navy. Their navy, like, I don't even know how big their navy is, but I've not seen it yet. Like, I've not gotten past the planes, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping to invade your and kill your ancestors, basically, I guess.
Like,
Insert-
oh, right. Well, they're mostly in India, so. Oh, and there's a naval invasion in India, speaking of which.
It's just fucking. Can you send your tanks to deal with it? It's actually what I was gonna ask you to do, but I forgot. Because I got distracted by something else.
Yeah, that'll be dealt with.
Seeing as how my cavalry are not exactly like the best.
Suited. Yeah, that Portuguese division thought twice about like fighting the veteran fucking elite armor division, you know? They were like, yep, that happened.
I'm even able to give you air support.
Nice. The real tasty victory there for me is that those American troops will run out of supply too, you know? Like that they sent there.
No, that's fucks ended up. Okay.
Sure. Oh, really? Oh my god! No! Fuck. Alright. Can we, like, reload again? Oh, shit. I fucking hate this. This like, UI is trash when it comes to dealing with, like, finding out what's important and what isn't, you know? Pretty much what happened is I lost, like, my most forward naval base against the Americans just because it didn't tell me that it was like, or at least it wasn't between all these fucking false like fucking flags or whatever the hell. It doesn't tell me like, oh hey, you know the actual naval invasion that's happening? Yeah, that's the same priority. It's just all these supposed fake, you know, Schrodinger's naval invasions that are going on, you know? Which is just the worst. So that was like a naval base that I was building up, like to kind of like deal with the whole Pacific situation, and it just got invaded, and it was like, okay, lol, I guess I can't do anything about it. My god.
Why am I